Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My name is Suban Abdullah. I'll be the narrator of the story written by my father, Abdurrahman Abdullah, also known as Anagil. Self-Inflicted Wounds, Part 8. The Western countries easily succeeded by using Ethiopia to confront the men who were fighting for the rule of Islam. They were separated into two groups, the moderates led by President Sharif and the radicals led by Sheikh Hassan Dahir. This started another round of fighting in Mogadishu with Sheikh Sharif's government and the Amazon forces on one side and Al-Shabaab and forces of Islam on the other side. There is no doubt that many people had been killed or displaced due to the violent exchanges taking place between these groups. Mothers and crying children would say, "Warlords destroyed us. Missiles kill the elderly. Today Ethiopian troops attack us. Where do we flee to?" The situation in which Qali and Saeed were living in got worse day after day as many people were fleeing to Afgoye, running from the war that had destroyed Mogadishu for the last 20 years.
Many young fighters believe the secret of their success lies in their willingness.
It was difficult for Saeed to manage taking care of both himself and Qali, who day after day continued to weaken. Every Somali, whether they live in the diaspora or in the country, senses the lack of government and instability. In the same way, Ahmed, who has been in America for several years, is worried about how his children may end up living a life of despair in America, the same way his niece Qadra suffered and died. Ahmed, wanting to acknowledge the tragedy that befell Somalia, says aloud, "O Somali people, misery is present for a long time. The world feels sympathy towards us. Our injuries have not come from other people. Our cure is to quickly seek God's forgiveness." The people who live in the diaspora are not living happy lives. They have many worries. It would seem as though their mother had died, because the country is like a mother, and if it is overtaken or if there is a lack of security, you cannot live like a child with no worries. The wells are often visited by Al-Shabaab and Islamic forces. There's no doubt that the misfortune that has happened to the Somali youth is a dark history for the Somali people. Half of the youth had migrated when there was a lack of work and education in the country. Many died in the Indian Ocean, Sicily, and all the other coasts of Italy. Those who survived the migration are languishing in prisons in Yemen, Libya, Turkey, and Malta. The other half of the youth are the young people who had not left the country and who carry the guns and join the soldiers that are fighting for control of their country. Unfortunately, many of these youth die in these wars, while others get injured and then receive no care. They do not even receive medical aid from the groups they were fighting for. My Lord, what has happened to the Somali nation? Qali has been sick for 2 weeks. However, there's no money to take her to a doctor, and the only help she gets is through the recitation of the Quran. Unfortunately, 3 weeks later, Qali dies. Saeed, now once again faced with grief because Qali was his only companion, says sadly, "The calamities have aged me. My people and country have perished. My fatigue and misery are never ending. O God, bring us peace, as this conflict has gone too far." The story of self-inflicted wounds has reached the end for now, and we will continue God's willing as the situation in the country changes in the near future. Thank you for watching.